So how would we relate the first noble truth? Let's say the first noble truth is called the truth of reality, or truth of suffering, truth of existence, let's say. Conventional reality, we are talking about this conventional reality. So we see this time that this particular life, let's say this life, what's the beginning of this life? We are born. So, or we could go furthest to our conception. The moment the energy of our father and the energy of our mother met together and we were conceived. We were actually, that moment began the first instant of life. In a dimension, even if there was no heartbeat, anything at that point, but that dimension at that point. So that's the beginning. And how long do we go? We go till the point we die, when this heartbeat stops, when there is no more breath in it. So let's take one lifetime, and this, let's say this as this reality. So this, within this lifetime, so what are the experiences that we actually experience? Our desire to always be happy, our fear that that happiness will not be achieved, our frustration of encountering things that we don't like, and so many of those things. So this is within that life. So that's reality. We cannot ignore. That's reality. So this is how we actually, within the reality of human being, this now, let's say within human being, this is how we actually experience. We have, we have birth, then we age, and within that aging there could be some sickness, and then we have death. So that reality is there. But why do we have to undergo that process of aging and sickness and death like that? Then Buddha goes on to say, because of a cause that precedes the moment of the energy of the father and the mother coming together. That is called the origination, the truth of origination. So this is like the fruit. Now all this samsaric existence, let's say this existence, human being think that we are human. Animals, they think they are animals. Birds, they think they are birds. And we have so many different kinds, like bugs. And then again, even if you don't see or if you don't understand, there are beings considered little higher than human beings, like the demigods. We say asuras. They are well off than human beings, but still they have their own problems of jealousy and so forth. And then above them, there are beings called gods. They have wealth, they have luxury, they have glory, they have power and so forth, but still they are not free from suffering. When the karma, when their merit of enjoying those kind of qualities of life come to end, they again fall back. So this is the existence, this is what is referred as. And as long as anything that comes to change, that is actually characterized as suffering. So in Buddha's word, suffering here means anything that changes, anything that we meet together and we part. That is suffering. We rise and we fall. That is suffering. We are born and we die. That is suffering. We accumulate and we that comes to exhaustion, that's called suffering. So anything that changes, anything that is compounded, Buddha here classifies into this category, saying the truth of suffering. That's the truth. Whether we ignore it or whether we want to, truth meaning that's the truth, that is it. But in our case, we don't want to accept that. We always think that behind that change, there is something, there's some kind of truth, somewhere, something that will bring forth happiness, something that will grant me some kind of happiness and so forth. We always look for something that is further than that. And we do not know that birth comes to an end, that is death. Our rising comes to an end, that is fall, and so forth. So in this way, these are considered as anything that is subject to change is suffering or sorrow. Dukkha, it's called dukkha or dunyan in Tibetan. So the first noble truth is the truth of suffering. The fundamental suffering of all beings within cyclic existence is birth, old age, sickness, and death. That happens to all beings within cyclic existence. And we could argue on that one, like saying the samadhi, the gods of samadhi, they are instantaneously born, and then when they wake up, they might, it must be just an instant like that. But in general, this is the case. There is birth, old age, sickness, and death. This is the fundamental suffering. And on top of that one, there are again suffering related to our existence. Sentient beings, we have this suffering that we not fulfilling the wishes or the desires that we want. The fear that what we wish may not be accomplished, or we might encounter things that we don't like that. And animals, they have the suffering of the mightier ones bullying the timid ones. Animals being bitten, animals being used as food or beasts of burden, and so on and so forth, like that. We also classify animals in the category of stupidity, that they're not really capable of doing as human beings can do. So like that. And then we also have another level of being which is called hungry ghost, pretas. Their suffering is constantly tormented by hunger and thirst. They have gone for years and years without even hearing or without even finding food or finding water and food for years and years like that. So they are tormented by hunger and thirst. And then we also have more tormenting suffering, like the hell realm, the cold hells and the hot hells, where their suffering is the experience of torment of hot and cold. So human beings are in fact considered to be little above those three existences. And then we were talking earlier, the demigods. Demigods, they have a little bit higher kind of life than human beings, but yet driven by their jealousy. There's constant fight, there's always, there's war and trifles and arguments and all of those things going on and on. The gods, they just live in luxury and that glory, but the time comes so fast that as they near death or change, their friends abandon. Their glory, the luster of the body diminishes. Their friends actually know that one is about to die, and they abandon, and they feel that loneliness. And also, they actually have certain clairvoyance, and they actually see that where they will fall in their next life. And they have this certain, this torment, this painful experience of where they will be falling. So these are all that fundamental suffering